Welcome back to the Metzger Athletic Complex. Game 1 final, Bucknell over Lafayette 9-6. Plenty of strong highlights in this game. You expect with that wind blowing the way it was, we would have some. Pitchers did a pretty good job early on, picking up a couple of early strikeouts for each team. Lafayette did pick up one run, though, in the bottom of the first inning on a single up the middle by Morgan Olenek. And this scored Natasha Miner. It gave Lafayette that 1-0 lead. Bucknell comes back, though, with a lot of damage in the second inning, putting up 6 runs in total. The big problem for Lafayette that inning were some walks. They walked the first 3, and then the doors opened up with a couple of hits that allowed for Bucknell to put up 6. Some real strong defense for the Bison in this game as Bucknell tries to hang on to that lead, but they were unable to after a huge third inning for Lafayette. That's a 3-run home run for Harvey. That brought the Leopards to within 2, but they weren't done quite yet. They picked up 2 home runs in this inning. The first one was at that 3-run shot from Harvey. They also picked up a 2-run home run here by Paige Sandage. This came after a walk to Julia Roman. So a 5-run third inning made it a 6-6 ball game, and stayed that way for a while, as Lafayette real excited about 2 long balls in 1 inning. That's the best defensive play of the game. Nicole Rivet on the hot corner. Hannah Cook comes in relief and pitched a gem for most of the time, her time in there, in relief of Sawai. Hannah Cook overall, 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. But it was the same for Bucknell. Kelly Toomey in relief of Olivia Marinelli. She also pitched 5 innings. And it wasn't until late in the game in the 6th inning where the wheels came off a little bit for Lafayette. A couple of balls hit to the outfield, and the wind is just real tough out there, as was the sun. This ball finding just some grass between 3 different players. No one taking charge on that ball, unfortunately. And that's pretty much where we stood with that 3 spot in the top of the 6th. That's the difference for Bucknell in the win over Lafayette. 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the visitors, compared to 6 runs on 5 hits for Lafayette. So Bucknell moving to 3-0 in conference. Lafayette falling to 0-3 in conference. The winning pitcher, Kelly Toomey, she moves to 3-0 on the year. Hannah Cook gets the loss. Even though she pitched really well in relief, she is 0-1 on the year. So what we do now is we get ready for game number 2. We'll take about a 20-minute break. We'll get the lineups for you, and we'll come back for game 2 in the 4th game of this 4-game set between these 2 teams. But game number 2 today, stick around. We'll be back in about 20 for game number 2 on ESPN+. But for now, Matt Fine, John Sabino pushing all the right buttons. We'll see you back here real soon. Welcome back to Metzger, where Bucknell has swept past Lafayette, winning all 4 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, and then 2 more today after the rainouts yesterday, pushing everything until Monday. But for Bucknell, it was worth the wait as they pick up the 4-game sweep. A lot of scoring in this game, a lot of hits for Bucknell. It was a pretty close game early on as Van Wyk kept Bucknell off the board for the first 2 innings. And the first inning as well, not a bad start for Hunter Vestal. Picking up a couple of strikeouts. Fireworks came a little bit later in the game. This is a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning off the bat of Julia Romano. And then a home run to answer in the 3rd inning from Taylor Wolfgang for Bucknell. Lafayette did actually take a lead again in the bottom of the 3rd off this wild pitch. But then in the 5th inning, things opened up a little bit for the visitors as they put up 5 runs in this inning alone, eventually taking a 7-3 lead. And the balls were basically, most of them were clean hits, just finding grass in the outfield. And that crooked number gave Bucknell a lead that it would never surrender. Delahaba did go to the bullpen to bring in a second pitcher. in Kai Sawai, but it really didn't stop Bucknell from putting up more numbers. They picked up a run in the 5th, and they picked up some relief pitching as well from Kai Burton, who pitched 4 innings, giving up no runs and just 2 hits. As you see that scoreboard over the left field fence, at the time it was 9-3. This ball just resting up against the fence in right field. This is all part of a 4-run 6th inning that really put the game well out of reach for the home team. One of the better defensive plays came from the center fielder in Paige Grover. That also came in the top of the 6th inning, but it was not enough, as this ends the game. A 12-3 final, 12 runs on 17 hits for Bucknell. Lafayette 3 runs on 5 hits. Bucknell had to lead 2 different points in this game, but really couldn't keep Bucknell off the board later in the game. In terms of the winning pitchers, Van Wyk gets the loss. She's 0-4 on the year. Burton, in relief, gets the win, moving to 2-2 on the year. Overall records, Bucknell now 7-4. 4-0 in the Patriot League. Lafayette drops to 0-8, 0-4 in the Patriot League. So a sweep for Bucknell. Next up, Bucknell has the Holy Cross this coming weekend. They'll play a bunch of games up in Worcester, Mass. 4 games total. Lafayette has the weekend off currently. Next time they'll play is when they head to Colgate. Those games start on April 10th, a week from this Saturday. So that will do it for us here at Metzger Fields. The sun sets over the softball field. We appreciate you for joining us on this doubleheader on a Monday. For John Sabino and everyone pushing the buttons here in Easton, Pennsylvania, I'm Matt Fine. Have a safe evening and a wonderful week. We'll see you back here real soon.